currently passing out handouts for their TED Talks. Can you smile? They're not smiling.
Follow me on Twitter, Meister Morton.
Oh God.
I divided each category of self-expression into each quarter, so each quarter I focused on one specific aspect in order to achieve my goal.
So my TED Talk is about feeding our souls, doing something you love to do, and always, sticking in touch with that thing that you like to do.
Of it. A lot of people in this room have probably played a video game once in their life, but seldom few think of it as an art form. In fact, Roger Ebert, a famous movie critic, went on record saying, "I remain convinced that in principle, video games cannot be art." I respect Roger Ebert and his opinion, but I have to disagree with it. So I gave a definition of art to show it's a expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. I do believe that video games are indeed an art form.
Having a lot of difficulties learning all the forms, getting the kicks down, keeping my balance and all that, so I was having trouble with that. I began to get pretty frustrated because I wasn't seeing very much progress, but I decided that I had to keep going because if I quit now, what would be the point of starting it actually? So I persevered, kept going, and then
at an extension partner, which is at your chest. And this is called an extension.
So the Mayday project, the extension project that I chose, it was inspired by the pamphlet Mayday written by William Faulkner, and he actually hand wrote it, hand bound it, did all the artwork by hand, and that really inspired me to create my own literature regardless of genre. This project.
Okay, so the topic that I explored was drawing. So I decided to learn how to draw because I wasn't very proficient at it in the first place. In doing things such as projects in school, I was really embarrassed about it. I'd have to draw stick figures and just random things, and it'd just be awful, to be honest. It made me feel awful. So I decided to explore drawing. It would be an outlet to express my creativity.
In my case, it's watercolor. Watercolor was not my strongest suit because watercolor is literally water and color pigments. And if you're not careful with the amount of water you use, it can become a blob mess.
Okay, so for my blog, overall I vowed to visit as many places as possible throughout the year, outside of Garden Grove, then document and analyze my experience, whether I liked it or not, and kind of describe what happened.
What does effort mean to you? I don't want a dictionary definition of what effort means. Okay, so what do you guys have so far?
Self-motivation.
About what do you think effort means to you?
Self-motivation.
Self-motivation, okay.
Dedication.
Dedication.
Because life is full of mistakes, but eventually things will be figured out, and there will be minor plateaus and on how things will affect life, but you will eventually get through it.
especially at this age, it's about finding your purpose. So you're basically living to find your purpose in life, and that's really what defines who you are and who you're going to be as a teenager.
Okay, so I did my TED Talk about the true power of love, and that I asked myself at the beginning of the year, why do people really need love, and what's the real effect of it on the world and how we perceive it, and what would happen if we didn't have love, what would happen to the world. So I started looking basics, and I found that there's 4 different types of love. The first one is eros, which is romantic type of relationships. The second is agape, which is unconditional love, meaning that it sees beyond all flaws and the outer surface. And then the third is phileo, which is platonic and affectionate love, kind of like the love that you have for your friends. And the fourth is storge, which is family and friendship love, which is kind of like the bond that a mom and a baby has. and it drives forgiveness. So from there, I went on to realize that love is a universal emotion, which means that it's a great human emotion. So it affects all people and it's timeless in a sense. And it's timeless because everyone needs it. And
so it shows like just as art and sports in life, so does life. Because you can't do everything at one moment, and if you try to spread yourself too thin, you're not going to give your all to everything you do. And then by putting all your attention to one matter at a time, life is more sufficient and fulfilled.
It's important to have short-term and long-term goals in life. It's easy to think of 20 years from now or 10 years from now, but it's also important to think of what you can do within every day. And so just some short-term goals that I have is just waking up and putting a smile on my face to start off the day on a happy note. But the long-term goals obviously is to have the career that will make me happy.
The differences between generations offers a new perspective on things. The things that you learn from your grandparents, you might not agree or you will agree, but no matter what, your perspective is continually changing, and it keeps you fresh. My overall message is our own individual thoughts are what diversifies us, and it's what makes us better.
Going to the message, my message is remember why you started. You began for a reason. Ask yourself why, and if it's worth it, continue or finish doing it. And perseverance is key. You're going to look back on this someday and be glad it happened. Obstacles are not what define you, it's how you overcome them. And pushing and going that extra mile and giving all your effort, it's going to make you be glad that you hit that low point.
Number one tip for winning a debate, less is more, knowing your audience, those are very important, but if you don't have confidence, you're going to lose your debate every single time. If you're only 99% sure that you're saying the truth, then the other side will see that 1% and will choose not to go to your side because they see the doubt in your eyes. And furthermore, why would you believe your opinion if you're not 100% sure?
Number one, you cannot expect to succeed at something when you constantly tell yourself that you are failing or are going to fail. You cannot be your own worst enemy. There is going to be enough of that in this world. There are going to be enough people putting you down. You cannot let yourself beat yourself up because you, when it comes down to it, are the only one that's always going to be there. Number two, you cannot expect to be flawless in your execution, perfect in your pursuit. Yes, you are going to make mistakes. Abraham Lincoln was a complete failure in life before he became president.
Okay, so the title of my presentation is The Untold Story. So adapting and reinventing is the topic that I discovered through this year-long project. So breakdown of the project. This project follows the story of a middle-aged man who's my dad. And so we talk about his trip from Vietnam to America. So he's an immigrant, a Vietnamese immigrant.
And all these were like things that I blogged about throughout the year. And I got to recreate the Bell logo and the graduation tickets for this year, which was pretty cool. And I think that's a big honor.
Ooh.
Fingerprinting. You get right there, Duncan's fingerprints.
But you can do anything, which goes into my next slide, that you have the power. Nothing is set in stone. Like, your life can be altered in any way, and all it takes is for you to change it. But it all comes down to mindset. The mindset changes everything. Because if you believe that you can do something, then there's really nothing stopping you. I think the mindset is the foundation of everything that happens, because all it takes is an idea and a positive thinking, and then you're already on your way.